Hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're having a great night. Unlike Skylar, who's sick, so I am joined by my husband, who is actually the author of our newest book. It's called The Alchemy of Reality, and it is, well, I'll just read the back. It says, Mastering the Mind to Manipulate the Labyrinth. It is an excellent read for anyone on any path. However, it is more of his perspective on spirituality and what he's come to realize when it comes to reality and reality manipulation. But we highly recommend it. And it is our second publication. So check that out. Tonight, we're on chapter 3 of A Field Guide to Lucid Dreaming. This one mostly covers history, as it's titled, A History of Dreaming. I'll just go ahead and get started. Shamanic cultures believe that dreams are a key to realities, hidden from our five senses, and that there are many subtle worlds that exist parallel to and overlapping the physical one. To them, dreams were a connection. To these higher realities, a bridge to the soul, a journeying to the realm of spirit. Many Aboriginal cultures throughout the world believed in dream time, a separate reality entirely, a collective space where one has direct access to sacred knowledge and can communicate with the deceased and learn from the spiritual masters who have transcended the physical world. To many indigenous cultures, such as the Iroquois, if I say anything incorrectly, I do apologize. I practice, but I'm not good at this. So to many indigenous cultures, such as the Iroquois, someone who was not in touch with their dreams was not in touch with their soul. Not only were dreams important, but they were also vital. If you were disconnected from your dreams, you were considered a spiritual and emotional cripple. Ouch. It actually says ouch. If these ideas fly in the face of everything you were ever taught about dreaming, we're right there with you. It's hard to understand what these ancients were talking about. Other worlds, meeting other people in dreams. What are you on, drugs? The ideas sound crazy to us now. To understand where these ancients were coming from, we need to first humor the idea that dreams are important, whatever they are. With minds open, let's take a short peek at how past cultures saw dreaming. Despite the many perspectives you'll see, the majority of cultures would agree on one thing: dreams are anything but meaningless. Sumerians. The earliest evidence of dreaming dates all the way back to 3100 BCE, in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia. Through the recorded stories of legendary Gilgamesh, we read the king's recurring dreams of his goddess mother, Ninsun, dreams that were taken as prophecy and used to guide the king's decisions in the waking world. It's clear from these stories that dreams have been playing a historical role for at least the past 5,000 years. Ancient Egyptians. The first recorded evidence of a dreaming society can be found among the ancient Egyptians. These guys believed dreams to be a direct connection to the spirit world. The Egyptians appeared to have practiced a form of lucid dreaming and likely mastered dream skills such as shape-shifting and time travel. How do we know they were conscious dreamers? One clear indicator comes from their belief in the Ba, or soul, which they thought could travel consciously outside the body while the body slept. Even their word for dreams, Rasut, translates as awakening or to come awake, and was depicted in hieroglyphs as an eye open. Scholars say that the open eye might also signify an awakening to truths, advice, or insights commonly missed in daily waking life. Egyptians were so into dreams, they constructed temples specifically for the practice of dream incubation, a method of receiving divine healing and revelatory messages through sleep. They believed that the dream world was a deeper reality, a place where true transformation could happen. The dream interpreters of their day were called the masters of secret things. Imagine that on a business card. Ancient Greeks. Ancient Greeks saw dreams as a spiritual practice as well a connection to the divine. At first, only Zeus was thought to send divine dreams, but as time went on, other gods were allowed to send dreams too. There were two gods who specifically ruled in the arena of dreaming. Hypnos presided over sleep, and his son Morpheus ruled dreams. Scattered across the Mediterranean, The Greeks built more than 300 shrines to serve as dream temples. These temples were heavily involved with dream healing, where the sick came to heal physically, emotionally, and spiritually with the help of nightly dreams. Well over 2,000 years before Freud, Plato theorized that dreams are the expression of our repressed desires. In his volume, The Republic, Plato wrote that in all of us, even the most highly respectable, there is a lawless wild beast nature, which peers out in sleep. Aristotle, on the other hand, while fascinated by the fact that we can perceive colors, lights, and images with our eyes closed during sleep, concluded that dreams had no purpose. They foretell the future, you say? Mere coincidence. In the 2nd century BCE, Artemidorus wrote his 5-volume work, Onerocritica. The crocodile signifies a pirate murderer or a man who is no less wicked, he wrote. The way in which the crocodile treats the dreamer determines the way in which he will be treated by the person who is represented by the crocodile. The cat signifies an adulterer, for it's a bird thief, and birds resemble women. Instead of creating just a generic interpretation system of dreams, Artemidorus was the first to take the individual's personal background into account. Romans. Like many aspects of their culture, the Romans piggybacked their dream beliefs off of the ancient Greeks and Egyptians. They had everything from dream incubation to dream temples. They even read the Onerocritica, Pythagorean, I can't say it, I know it, I'm familiar with it. Pythagoreanism, a Greek philosophy dating back as far as 500 BCE, was also revived by the Romans. This metaphysical system of belief was based on mathematics, but had nothing to do with high school level geometry. It stated that conscious soul travel was possible and that spiritual gurus who were born centuries apart could communicate through these mystical avenues. As more and more Romans were converted to Christianity, dream interpretation was refocused through the lens of the Bible, and the dream temple culture was all but wiped out. Hindus. According to Hindu mythology, everything around us in the physical world is a dream happening in Vishnu's mind. Even we ourselves are only manifestations, dream characters, if you will. It is thought that our world will end when Vishnu's dream ends. Dreaming gives us a glimpse of the God who creates us by dreaming us into existence. Hindus believe that dreaming is a higher state of consciousness than the waking state. Tibetans. The philosophical practice of dream yoga among the Tibetan Buddhists dates back at least 1,000 years. While ancient Egyptians and Greeks knew the power of dreams, these yogis were the pioneers of lucid dreaming. We can't thank them enough for laying the groundwork. They described specific techniques for achieving lucidity and training consciousness. The buck didn't stop at lucid dreaming either. Once they became aware in the dream state, yogis had to complete a number of tasks, progressing to higher levels of their practice. These challenges included the exploration of various worlds, speaking with enlightened dream beings, and shapeshifting into other animals, to name just a few. The ultimate goal for a dream yogi was to become conscious of the fact that all life is but a dream. Apprehending the dream was a term that meant attaining complete conscious awareness. If a practitioner could become really, really aware in a dream, they thought the dream would bleed together into a big mix of egoless bliss, pure nothingness. Once a yogi entered this nothingness, he would be able to observe the absolute purest form of conscious awareness. Chinese. Recorded evidence of dreaming in Chinese culture dates back to over 4,000 years ago. Like other cultures from that era, the Chinese idea of dreams intertwined with other concepts, the realm of the dead and of the spirit. They divided the soul into two parts, the Po, material soul, and the Hun, spiritual soul. At night, when the physical body was at rest, the spiritual soul would depart from the body. The Hun was free to visit the land of the dead, or commune with the souls of other dreamers. Just don't wake someone up before their soul comes back to their body. The Chinese believed that their soul could be lost if they were awakened too abruptly, and no one wants that. Hebrews. The deeper you go into the history of the Hebraic culture, the more you'll find clues to dreaming culture. In the Talmud, a book written between 200 and 500 CE, that instructs one on how to apply the Torah to everyday life, there are over 200 references to dreams. It even has a dream dictionary of sorts that allows the reader to analyze dreams, nightmares, and visions. It states that dreams which are not understood are like letters which are not opened. Dreaming was considered to be a direct way to receive guidance from God. Indigenous tribes. To these people of the earth, everything around us contains spirit, and we access this spirit realm when we dreamed. Dreaming was also a very social activity. These cultures thought that when we dream, we go to a shared realm that is not limited by space or time. One could have dream visitors in addition to visiting other people's dreams. Instead of gulping down a cup of joe, both Aboriginal Australians and the Iroquois would start their day by sharing their adventures of the previous night. Dreams were often a source of guidance, not only for the individual, but also for an entire community, and were used in hunting, healing, and war. European Middle Ages. They aren't called the Dark Ages for nothing, as the dogmatic practices of Christianity spread throughout Europe. Dreams began taking a back seat. Despite this unfortunate approach to dreams during this time, it's important to note in the religious texts of Christianity, there are plenty of nods to dreaming. Dig, and you will find stories of divine dreams and the interpretations that followed. There are hundreds of dreams in the Bible alone. As Christianity continued to spread during this time, dreams were looked on as being evil and sinful. Martin Luther spread the word that the devil was responsible for dreams, and the divine messages could only be received through the church. St. John Chrysostom stated that dreams were insubstantial. Come on, guys, really? Modern times. After the Dark Ages, dreaming was basically swept under the rug. Anthropologist Raymond L. M. Lee notes that even after the Renaissance, dreams were treated as unremarkable byproducts of psychological disturbances or bad digestion that possessed no real value. It wasn't until the turn of the 20th century that dreams were brought out of the darkness by our friend Dr. Sigmund Freud. Our friend? He started an entire branch of psychology devoted to unlocking his patients' unconscious minds through the interpretation of dreams. Not only had the dust been brushed off the topic, but dreams were now also seen in an entirely new light. They were secular. Some of Freud's ideas were soon challenged by his own student, a radically thinking upstart named Carl Jung. Dr. Jung believed that dreams were not only about the past, but also about the present too. He felt that dreams show us what we are striving to achieve as well as what stands in our way. Jung didn't completely abandon his teacher's thoughts. He accepted Freud's basic structure and his theories on the language of dreaming, along with the idea of interpreting dreams through associations. And Jung wasn't just observing patients, he was an ardent dreamer. Take a look at his academic essays, and you'll find some surprising topics: psychic powers, collective dreaming, and telepathy. He believed we dreamed in the collective unconscious, a shared space, and he coined the terms archetype and synchronicity. Thanks to Jung, a lot of modern-day dream explorers were inspired to think outside of the box, exhuming ideas that had been buried since the ancients. That's that chapter. Has anybody else joined us? No?
Not
Just
yet.
us?
Yep.
Not yet. Well, that's chapter 3, and I wanted to ask if the historical part seemed accurate to you.
Yeah, I mean, dreams were super important to the ancient world. They took them very seriously, like Egyptian culture, especially. Like in the end of the book of Genesis 41, Pharaoh talks about his dream was so troubling that he had to find someone to interpret it right away. And that's when Joseph does, and he basically gives him a super high position and lets him manage his resources so that they don't go into famine, which he knew was coming from that. So they put a lot of stock in the prophetic dreams.
So it says here for the Hebrews, it says there's a quote that says, "Dreams which are not understood are like letters which are not opened." In your studies, does that quote come up? Have you seen that?
No, I've never seen that before, but also I have not read anything in the Talmud, but like I know that almost all prophets receive their prophecy through dreams. So
yeah, dreams are special. Well, anyway, there's not much to discuss in a historical one. I was going to read 2 chapters, but since it's just us tonight, I'll just cut it short. So anyway, I just wanted to say for anybody who rewatches this is available on Amazon, and it's also available on Kindle. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free to read. And I'm not sure how much it is on Amazon at the moment, but go check it out. The Alchemy of Reality. We're very proud of this. It's been over 2 years in the making. Have a good night.